Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Can you guys please quickly confirm? Am I audible or not? Okay. So, how are you all guys doing today? Today is a Saturday. It's the first day of the weekend, right? So, how was your day till now? Yep. Great. So, I think you are also a night coder. Like, if I'm talking about me, then I prefer to work in the night, not in the morning. So, I'm also a night coder. Yeah, I'm also fine. I'm also fine. So today is our advanced base part 3. Okay? That is our final part of today, right? And in the next week, I think so we're gonna probably start with the recursion. Okay? And we'll be solving a lot of problem with respect to recursion in the next week. Okay? In this week, since today is a Saturday, like almost a final day of the week, so we have done till now the advanced JavaScript concept part 1, part 2, part 3. Okay, so today is the final part of that. Fine. And is there anything that specifically that you want to ask me till now? The whatever the concept that we have covered till now, is there anything that you want me to cover in this particular session? And for if I'm talking about today's session, then it's more oriented to the I'll be asking questions to you, I'll be explaining the concept to you, and there are a lot of concepts that are already been taken care of. Okay, in today's class, you will not find anything that that is like blow your mind. There's and no concept like that today for today's class specifically. So closure. Okay, so I'll cover the closure once more. Okay, is there anything that you want me to cover apart from the closure? Hosting, I think so we have covered yesterday, right? So Riaz, have you gone through the recordings? Do you have some spare time to go through the recordings? So impure functions are pretty much like theoretical concept, but I'll also cover that, no problem. Or else I'll take care of that in tomorrow's class, because tomorrow's class would be like entirely towards down like doubt solving. So I'll be covering some topic for today and some topic for tomorrow. I think so that will be working, right? That will work, right? Okay. So okay, so final good morning to everyone. We'll be starting our session now. I think so there are pretty less attendance today due to the Saturday, I guess so. Fine. So let us start. Okay, let's not wait for the stand 10 already. So advanced JavaScript concept 3. So today I will be explaining concept related to the JSON objects, difference between that. So those kind of things we have already taken care of, but I'll be explaining that for you for in detail. Okay. Previously we have covered in the from the basics, right? If you have remember. According to Reliable Console, first 6 weeks is basic, second part is e-commerce website, then third part is advanced DSA. Vaibhav, you need to connect with Anshul for that. Okay, he will be proper person to answer that. Okay, this doesn't change value in object. Okay, so see what does this uses the spread operator. Okay, we haven't covered the spread operator till now. Okay, so don't worry, we'll cover that also, because see basically it's telling that whatever object in car you are putting inside your curly braces, so it's the same object. Okay, I think that's why it's not changing, but we'll be seeing in the detail. Okay, so yes, Vikas, you have joined from the office, that's great. Fine, so can we start now? Can we start? Okay, fine. So I guess so you all are aware about the thing of JSON. Do you know anything about JSON? Have we did we cover that in previous sessions? है ना? Okay. So yeah. So we'll be covering in detail today. We'll be learning something new out of that JSON. Okay. All right. So this JSON stands for JavaScript object notation. Okay, this is the full form of that. Okay, and JSON is a text-based data. Okay, let me write that so that you can remember that as well. I hope you can see that. So whatever inside your JSON, na, it is a type of the object. Okay, and it is like we are basically. Oh, so sorry, just a second. We are using for is a text-based data. Okay, data format that is used for or else that is used to store and transfer data. Okay, so uh, this is first point, this is second point. So basically we are using this JSON data. JSON is nothing but our text based data. Okay, it is nothing but our text based data that we already looked upon, that is used to store and transfer data. This is more important, to transfer data. So and I already informed you about that as well, that in API calls, whatever data you are transferring, whatever payload you are transferring, that would be always JSON only. You cannot pass the raw object. Okay, fine. So this is our first thing. And like if I can talk about the syntax of that, so I'm just clearing more. You already know about JSON, but I'm clearing and I'm going deep level in the JSON. Okay, that we like yesterday also we touched very deep in some more topics. The same we are following today also. Okay, so in JSON, whatever you are writing, you have to write in this curly braces. Whatever, like, so object is what? If I talk about the object, then object is what? Can anyone tell me what is object? What is object? Good morning, guys. What is object? Yes, key value pair, है ना? So object is nothing but your key value pair, na? So here, if I'm writing my JSON object, JSON is nothing but what? JavaScript object. Okay, okay. So in this particular thing, my key would be always in double quotes, followed by the semicolon, followed by your value. Value would also be always in the, not always, but if it's string, then it's always in the double quotes. Okay, now secondly I have this age. Okay, and let's say I have my gender such as male. Okay, so this is my JSON, and in this particular JSON, if you looked upon, so in this particular JSON, um, in JSON, the data is key value pairs. Okay, so the data is nothing but your key value pair, which is separated by what? Key and value is separated by what? Something called as this comma. Okay, this is my comma. Okay, fine. Now, so like if I can talk about JSON, then JSON is what? It is derived by it is derived from JavaScript. Okay, so it is particularly derived from JavaScript. Okay, so JSON syntax resembles like JavaScript object literal syntax. If you remember, right? We talked about literal syntax. We talked about another syntax, how to create an object. Okay, so JSON syntax, it resembles the JavaScript object literal syntax, but however, the JSON format can be accessed and be created by other programming languages too. What do I mean by that is, so let me first tell you the point what I have just spoken. Okay, many of them you know you don't realize by that as well. Okay, so now what I have written is what I have talked about is, so like this JSON syntax what we have written now. So this JSON syntax is pretty much resembles what the JavaScript object literal syntax. Okay, but but however, this JSON format, this JSON format is this advantage of this JSON thing. Okay, so this JSON format or JSON object can be accessed by other any programming language in the world. Okay, so if you are talking about a particular language, okay, so see we are right now in India, so our national language is what, Hindi. And if you go in the Pakistan, then their national language is I think so Urdu. If you go in the west side, then they like the particularly spoken language is what, English, है ना? English, Italian, Canadian, Spanish, those are the languages, right? But if you combine all, like if you combine all people from the world together, if they want to talk, how they will talk? They have to have a common language, है ना? Through them, and by using that only they can talk. Otherwise it's unable, right? So that particular language is English. Okay, so Indian people is also should also learn English in order to learn to grasp data from entire world. So if you look into the YouTube, or if you look into any specific content that is rich in no information, rich in knowledge, they might be 90% of chances will be in the English, so that everyone else can be understand, like everyone can be understood by that. Okay, the same thing here with the JSON thing. Okay, so every other programming language cannot communicate with each other. If I'll say that no, if I'll pass my data in the API so that they can read. Okay, so suppose for an example, my API is written in the Java, or it's written in the Node, or it's written in the PHP, or it's written in the Ruby or Rails, or it's written in the any other programming language in the world, such as .NET or anything. Okay, all the programming language can be accessed or can understand JSON. Okay, so that is why JSON format can be accessed by other programming language as well. So if you pass this in any programming language in the world, they can understand that your key is name, your key is age, your key is gender, and the value is John 22 and male respectively. Okay, Hariharan, SQL is not a backend language. SQL is a database language. Okay, database structure query language. So I'm talking about the backend languages. They can implement logics. They can communicate with database. Okay, so that kind of language I'm talking about. Okay, there it can be Java, PHP, Ruby on Rails, Node, .NET, or any other language that you are thinking about. Okay, but they can all understand this JSON. There will be no language in the world they cannot understand this JSON format. Okay, okay. So JSON is, that is why that is pretty much important to be pro in JSON. Okay, to convert your JSON object in a normal object. Okay, I'll talk about that in a while. Next point to know for today to explain that. The second thing that I want to talk about today is, see this JavaScript object, uh, normal JavaScript object, and JSON. Okay, a lot of people think that they both are same, but they both are not. Okay, are not same. We already discussed about the differences and similarities between all of them. We'll be looking into that right now as well. Okay, don't worry about that. So this is a point, and the second thing that I want to discuss right now is it's about the JSON data. Okay, so I talked about JSON data. We'll pass the payload. So what is that? Okay, so first of all, let me dip down into that. What is the JSON data? All right. So JSON data is what is it consists of, it's having like it's consist of what, data. Okay, which will be what? Key and value pair. Okay, similar to JavaScript object property. So in JavaScript object also, this will be also having this JavaScript object also will have key value pair. Okay, so the key, like if I'll talk about here, okay, let me write once again. So like key and value, already told that key and value will be written in or enclosed by the double quotes. Okay, it should be double quotes only. All right, and separated by the colon. Okay, fine. So if I'll talk about this, that my name is John. Okay, so can anyone tell me what is my key here and what is my value here? What is my key here and what is my value? Okay, so name is my key, right? So this name is nothing but my key. This John is nothing but my value, right? Okay, I hope this is clear to all, right? Okay, fine. Now see, we are learning this because you will be a backend developer, all right? So you need to understand like how your data is coming through from your UI side, है ना? Okay, so if you understand that, if you understand your data, then your half job is done. Not half, but partial job is done. Okay, okay, that is why we are learning that. It's pretty crucial part to understand that. Okay, okay. So JSON data will require double quotes in the key. That is must. Okay. Now the second thing comes here. Now the second thing comes here that uh, see, the one more thing is that this particular JSON that we return, it will be enclosed in the this curly braces. Okay, this curly braces also must. Okay, fine, cool. Okay, now if I want to talk about that the JSON data we have talked about. Okay, now I will be talking about the JSON array. Okay, so now you will enjoy this a bit. Okay, so suppose if I have this, that JSON array, I'm writing this so that you can refer later on also. Okay, so now if I have my array like this, inside that I have my one object such as name. Here I have John, age, and 23. Okay, here I have name, Peter, age 21. Okay, so this see, one major difference here is, if you talk about your JavaScript object, okay, the normal object that we already talked about, which is not having this codes, which can and cannot have this codes, but if it's like your JSON object, then your keys should be in the double quotes only. Okay, so JavaScript objects, you remember it was containing like can contain functions also. Remember in function class we did that. Okay, but this cannot, this JSON data or this JSON object, it cannot contain function as values. Okay, so it can't contain function as values. Okay, so you need to understand that this does not have any functions. Okay, why? If you talk me if you can talk about that, why sir it is not having any function? JSON like normal objects is having function. Okay, so the reason behind that is, this has a particular reason to develop. Okay, so the JavaScript object, this JSON object, JSON thing is having a particular reason to develop. Why we have developed the JSON? Because we want to communicate from one language to another language. Okay, so from one platform to another platform, we need to transfer our data, right? Yes or no? Yes. है ना? So suppose if here in this particular platform, it is in my JavaScript right now, in the UI side right now. Okay. So if I have developed a function here, let's say function add. Okay. It will accept two arguments. It will do summation and it will return my value. Okay. But if I have written this function in my JavaScript, it suppose for an example, my this particular code is backend code is written in my Java. Okay, so if I'm passing this function here in my Java code, then how they will understand that what is this? They cannot understand this function, na? Right? Because this is written in JavaScript, right? So that is the reason we cannot pass function in the JSON. Okay, I'll be showing in detail. I'll be also prove that like you cannot pass any JSON data. Sorry, in function in JSON data. Okay. Okay, Harian, I'm repeating for that. Okay. See, this is our platform, which is in my JavaScript. Okay. This is entirely oriented to the JavaScript. This is my platform, which is developed in the Java. It is my backend. Okay. So from this, I am passing something to this. Okay. Let's say I'm passing my key as my name. Have any number like any name like John, and age as any number. Okay, like 21. Okay. So I'm passing that. Now suppose for an example, it is reading that. Okay, so Java can read that they have passed a key called as name. They will understand this is a string such as any name like John. It is age is my another key, 21 is my another value. Okay, but suppose in my JavaScript thing I have written an object, let's say like function, let's say function uh reduce age. Okay, it will accept my age. Inside that I'm doing age minus minus and I'm returning that. Okay, so I'm returning age minus minus. Okay, this is I'm doing. So I am passing. So if it is normal object, if it is normal object, then I can create like this. Let's say name John, age 21, and let's say reduce age is equals to, or this is my reduce age. Okay, something like that I can write about. Okay, this is my function. Okay, so in this normal object you can do that, but in JavaScript this JSON object you cannot, because it needs to transfer in Java. Okay, so Java cannot understand this definition. What is this? Java cannot understand it. Okay, because it is purely written in the JavaScript. All right, so that is the reason why you cannot write any function inside this. You can just pass normal raw data inside this one. I hope am I clear? I'm making sense, right? Now, I will be explaining that, Ritik. Just wait for a while, okay? I'm explaining that only. Now let me complete first. Fine. So that is the reason you cannot pass any function in the JavaScript object, or sorry, JSON object. Okay, JavaScript object you can pass. Now, if you want to access your JSON, and the thing you are asking now, Ritik, right now, we already discussed that, है ना? But today I'll be explaining in the detail. Okay, no worries about that. I'll be explaining that. Just wait for a while. Okay, so it is my, suppose if I want to access your JSON, it is the same thing what we have looked upon in the normal object. Let's say const data it is having. So right now, if I'm having my name as the same thing, John, age as 21. Okay, suppose and yeah, one another property I'll take for arrays so that you can understand that. So for those who have not cleared that, this is a fundamental class, right? So if you are not clear about that, please ask question right now only, because late will be a lot too late. Okay, so this class would be this JavaScript, and the second thing, second key I'm taking about this is my HTML. Okay, fine, and I'm completing my JSON right now. So now if you want to access your name object, name property, how you will access that? Everyone, if I want to access my name property, how will you access that? Data dot name, right? So I will write my data dot name. I'm again write my data dot age. Okay. And suppose if I want to access my HTML, how will you access that? If you want to access your HTML, how will you access that? Everyone, I want to access the HTML property of this data object. How will you access that? Good morning, guys. It's not early. We have not started our lecture in 6 a.m. right? It's already 10:30. So please participate. Okay, so data dot class of one, right? Cool. So it will be what? My data dot class of one, right? Because since it's my array, it is my zeroth index, it's my first index, so you can access data dot class of one index, right? This is how you can access. Fine. So this already we know it's pretty basic, so we already know. We'll not go in much detail in that. Now the question comes here. The question comes here that, sir, we have talked about everything. We have talked in detail about JSON and the JavaScript object, but the question lies in that what is the difference between this JSON and what is the difference between the JavaScript object, or we can also say that as a normal object. So the first and foremost difference in the JSON between the JSON and JavaScript object, that is the key in JSON, okay, or else the key in key value should be in double quotes. Okay, so it should be in double quotes. Okay, and whereas here it it can be without double quotes as well. Okay, so it can be without double quotes as well. Okay, the second difference that we have is like JSON cannot contain any function. Okay, so we already looked upon it that JSON can't contain functions. Okay, so Ritik, I'm doing this for everyone. Okay, so you can also get through get to understand by this also. Okay, so if you have any problem with respect to any point, you can just ask me right now also. Okay, so JSON can't contain any function, whereas JavaScript object, or else I can say JS objects, can contain functions. Okay, the third difference, that is JSON can be created and used by other programming languages. So I can say that it is used for cross programming languages, okay, to store and transfer data. So JSON can be passed or can be stored or can be used, we can say can be used by other programming languages. Okay, the and whereas in the JavaScript object, this JS objects can only be used in the JS only, can only be used in JS. So this is the major difference between the JavaScript and the JSON. Okay, I will be telling you, I will be telling you how to convert your JSON into normal object now. Okay, so we can store function as a value in JS object and not in JSON. Yes, we can. Okay, in value, not in key. Okay, Priyanshu, I saw your comment that you posted about the keys. You asked that not in keys, it is in the values. All right. Now the question lies in that, sir, you talked about that this JSON and JavaScript project are not same, but they have many similarities, right? So when you are working in the JavaScript environment, so uh, let's say for an example, you are working in JavaScript environment, okay, and your data comes in the JSON through somewhere, through some other API or so, through some other thing, okay. So how will you read that? Okay, so suppose for an example, let's say you have, okay, let me just go to the console only. Okay, just a second, I'll be opening that in this particular thing. Mozilla, where is Mozilla? I don't know. My Mozilla is automatically get closed. How? I don't know. Fine. So this is my developer tools of Mozilla, right? So yes, read that. It is. You can see the screen, everyone, right? I talked about that. See, okay. So I'm just writing a one JSON. Let's say for it's every you write JSON, you need to enclose in between this curly braces. All right. Okay. Voice is breaking. Now is also breaking. Everyone can hear my voice. Good, na? Okay. Okay, fine. So I'll be looking into the comments frequently, right? So just a second, just give me a moment. Let me see. There's something wrong with my end or not. Let just a second. Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I guess so there was no problem on my end, but still I have refreshed that. Fine. So uh yeah. So we were at this JavaScript console. All you can see the console right now, Mozilla console, right? You can see my Mozilla console. Yes or no, guys? Everyone, please respond. Yes or no? Yes, na? Fine. So, see what we are doing right now. That we are writing particular data of JSON. So I'm will write it as JSON. Inside that, I'm taking as my object as like this. Okay. So in this particular string, I have this. Okay. Then I have this double quotes in the name. I have John. You can also write it in the one line. Okay. The second thing I have as my age. Let's say this will come as like your 22. Okay. So in this particular thing, you can see that your JSON is in the form of string. Okay. Now I'll be telling you why it is in the string. Okay. So now this will become like from the API only. Okay. So API response would be like this. You need to convert it into your object, that is your JavaScript object. Okay. This is a JSON. Okay. This is nothing but your JSON string. You need to convert this JSON string into your JavaScript object. Okay, so I'm writing this that you need to converting to JavaScript object. If you want to do that, to use that, so you need to do that like const obj. This is a JavaScript object. Okay, there is a method of JSON. So JSON dot parse. Okay, so parse is nothing but to convert one thing into another. There is something known as parsing in general way. So in here, this JSON string, you need to convert it into your JavaScript object. So, okay, so you need to pass here, you need to parse that, and you need to pass in the argument the JSON string. Okay, so if you do that, the moment you do that, you can, if you console dot log obj right now, it is after that, and I'm right now I'm doing console dot log JSON right now. Okay, this is before. Okay, so this is before and this is after. Right, so let's run that and let's see what is the happening here. So see, in the before thing, you are your object is look like something this. Okay, this is my JSON object, right? Now this is what my normal object, that is what my name and age. Can you see here, this is my normal object now? Yes or no? Right? Okay, so this is the method json.parse. You can convert that, but you will ask me now that, sir, we have converted our JavaScript, sorry, JSON to JavaScript object, but what if I have this particular data, this is as my data, let's say. So let me copy that first and let me create file for you for today. That is, I'll be creating that as what I'm will be creating as JSON. Yeah, JSON dot JS, and today's date is what, 4th June. Fine. So in that I have copied it. I'll be uploading that as well. So now I'll be commenting all of that, or let's remove all of that. Now suppose you want to convert your JavaScript object to JSON. Okay, so now suppose you want to convert your JS object into JSON, right? So what you need to do? So let's say you have your JSON data. Let's say JSON data is equals to this. This is what my normal object. Okay, so I'm taking as name, John, and age 22, like that only. Okay, this is the same thing that I have written here. Now you need to convert it. You need to convert it into your JSON string, or else JSON object. Okay, so what you need to do is that if you want to convert it JSON, then const obj is equals to JSON dot. There is another method such as stringify. The stringify method will do convert your normal object to JSON object. Okay, so you need to pass your JSON data, which is your normal object here, and you need to console.log obj. Let's see what is happening inside that. Okay, and this is my after that, and this is my before console.log JSON data. Okay, this is my before thing. Let me console that as well. So now, if you want to run that, I'll be refresh my page and please run it. Console.log is not defined. Okay, yeah, see, spelling is wrong. Console. See here, this was my before thing. It was my normal object, right? And you have converted this normal object into your JSON object. Okay, this you can send to any other API or any other value or any other third party medium. Okay, this you cannot. Okay, cool. Okay, so how to convert normal object to JSON? Yeah, already talked about that. Why there is single quotes before curly brackets in JSON? There is not a single, there is double quotes. Okay, now, okay, so we talked about the previous thing, Navneet, like this. Just a second, I'm copying that. This JSON string you are talking about, है ना? So see here, it was in the string because see here also we are doing JSON.stringify. Okay, so JSON will always be inside that, but you cannot see that. Okay, so if you console that, you will not be able to see that. Okay, so now let's try to do like this. Do like this. You can see what is the output. Okay, if you do that, let me copy and paste entire code. Okay, so let me first copy this here and let me copy from that and copy here. So this was our initial program, right? I'll be removing that. Okay, and let's try to run the same thing. Okay, so see here what is the error. Syntax error json.parse unexpected character at line 1. So this json.parse, if you looked upon, let me show you that. Let me show you that how this json.parse is working. Okay, so I'm going into the MDN site, developer.mozilla. Okay, I'm sharing that. Just a second. What is that? What is that? Okay, just a second. Huh, here. Okay, so I'm sharing that particular Mozilla site right now. We'll together read that. Okay, can you see this? Can you see this particular JSON.parse? Can you see that? Right? So we'll read that. So JSON.parse method parses a JSON string. Can you see that? This is a JSON string. This is not an entire JSON object, है ना? So it will accept a JSON string constructing the JavaScript value and object described by the string. Okay. So see here in the examples also you can see this, it is a string. Okay. So it's a string. We have passed what JSON.parse we did. You know? Okay. So this is the same thing. So it accepts it in a string to convert that. Right. Okay. So I hope am I making sense? No, not seen. Okay. You cannot see that. Oh. Why that? Why is that? I think you all said yes, so I guess you have seen that. Fine. So can you see now? Can you see now, everyone? Everyone can see now the JSON.parse. है ना? See, you can see here that JSON.parse method parses a JSON string. Can you see here? It parses a JSON string. Okay. And you can also see here that const JSON, it is inside the string. Okay. So JSON.parse method, it will accept a string of JSON. Okay. So you don't have to do anything. You just need to parse your JSON object here. Okay. This is a JSON object inside the string. Fine. That is why we did in the conversion of JSON normal object to JavaScript, like normal object to JSON object, we did JSON.stringify. Okay, this is another method of JSON.stringify. You can also read from here that the stringify method converts a JavaScript object value to JSON string. Okay, okay, we are calling it JSON string here. Okay, so see, if you see the output here, let me run that if I can. Okay, let's run this. See, if you convert this particular normal object here into the JSON.stringify, you will be having a string, not the object only. है ना? Okay, fine. Am I clear? Right? Okay, cool. So now another thing that I want to talk about right now is we had discussed about this. Right now we had discussed about this that you cannot pass it because parse method will have accept this as a string. Okay. Initial days, in your initial days, you will be encountering a lot of conversion of JSON to JavaScript object, JavaScript object to JSON object. Okay. So you need to understand that in detail. No matter how pro you are in other things such as DSA and all, this is a basic. Okay, this needs to be there in your mind, that how to convert your object, normal object to JavaScript object and JavaScript object to normal object. So now the second thing that I have talked about here is like you cannot pass a function in JSON object, right? But you can in JavaScript object. Do I talked about that, right? I did talk about that. है ना? Okay. So Priyanshu, you just said like it was black. That does mean like in my video that is black, or in this screen in the video it's black. Okay, in output it is okay na? It's now okay for audio, video, everything. You can hear my voice, right? Okay. So now I talked about that you can pass, like let's say if I'm an object like the obj data. Okay. In that particular object, I have again my name as John and my age as 22. Okay, and I have my function. uh, okay, so you were saying for JSON string. Okay, so yeah, I have my function such as like func. In that I will be creating a function. Let's say function this. Inside that I'm writing what console dot log hello world. Cool. Okay, now what I'm doing is uh, let me console that. Okay, so let me console dot log obj data dot func. Guys, please tell me, can I do that? Can I do that? Please ask, like, please respond. है ना? So if I do that, if you run that, see my output is written hello world, right? Now what I'm doing, this is my normal object, है ना? Okay. So now I told you that if you want to convert your normal object, convert normal object to JSON string. What I need to do, we have just discussed. If I want to convert that into the JSON object, what I need to do? JSON.stringify, right? So what I'm doing now is that I'm taking another thing. Let's say const JSON data is equals to JSON.stringify. Inside that, I'm doing my obj data. Okay, okay. So let's see what will be my output of this. If I'm doing console dot log JSON data. Don't try along with me right now, okay? Because I need to tell you something very important, okay? For this particular thing, please don't try it right now. After this, I'll be giving you time to try it in by your own, okay? So I'm just doing type of JSON data, okay? You can also do like this, also you can do like this, okay? This is pretty much clear to everyone. Now, please tell me what will be the output of this. What will be the output of this? Everyone, output of this type of output of this JSON data. What will be the that? Yeah, but what will be my output? Okay, without, do not try to run right now. Okay, so everyone says that it will be error, but see, JavaScript is really smart. JavaScript is really smart. Okay, if you do that, then you will not encounter any error. This is hello world from this console. Okay, this obj data, this JSON, it will convert this JSON data to normal, like a object to JSON string, and it will print as a string. Okay, so this will be a string, this type of, and this JSON data, if you looked upon, it has converted this into a JSON. And if you look upon in this, that you cannot have any function. Okay, so by default it has just converted this to property. This function it has ignored. Okay, fine. Yeah, it will ignore your function. Okay, it will be skipped. It will not encounter any error. Okay, you will not encounter any error, because at some point of time in your object you have many functions, so you cannot remove those function and you will convert that after that. Okay, you just need to convert it. Whatever it can convert, it will do. Whatever it will cannot, it will not. Okay. Okay, so it's pretty interesting, right? So now I'm giving you some time to implement that. Okay, or else, like, let me continue. What do you say? Do I need to continue, or you want some time to implement? Continue now. Okay, fine. So I'll be continuing that. Okay, fine. So let's say we have covered that right now. I'm be copying that. Fine. Everything else should be commented. Fine. No. So now I'll be letting you to go in my OneNote. Fine. So now, so till now we have looked upon what is JSON data, what is normal object data, how to convert that conversion thing, what you can convert, what you cannot convert in that in detail, right? Now I'll be going through the normal objects. Okay. So I know you already are, clear about this, but it needs to be discussed. Okay. So that if anyone is not clear, they can also be clear in that. Otherwise, you can revise that. Okay. So this JavaScript object is what your non-primitive type, है ना? That allows you to store collection of data. Can I say that? Okay. So this JS objects are your non-primitive type that we already know. We already looked upon what is primitive, what is non-primitive. Yes or no? We looked upon that, है ना? In detail. Cool. So for those who have not covered in that and those who have some confusion in that, then primitive is something what your language is giving to you. Okay. So in that particular thing in JavaScript, we have string, number, boolean. Those things are already there. So those are called as my primitive type. And those are those who is not there. We are building that. It's something known as non-primitive type. Okay. Now, uh, okay, so it's non-primitive data type, and you can store multiple collection of data, right? Suppose if I have my const uh, student. Okay, if I have my const student as any object that you can think about. Okay, okay. So let me do one thing. Let me do one thing. What I need to do? Fine. So I'm taking it as const student is equals to some object. Let's say anything like first name is equals to the Dipanshu. and my class is like suppose 10. Okay, fine. So this is a way of creating my object that you already know. Now suppose if I want to declare my object, okay, okay. So you know already about that that this is my key name, this is my value. Okay, so if you need to create your object, then it you can create it by this key one, val one. Okay, this key two, val two. I think so. It's pretty much clear. No explanation in that, right? Object creation and all. Yes or no? Right? Okay. Now the third thing here that I want to talk about is let's say if I have object like this. Okay, if I have my object like this, so every time I'm calling a property. Okay, so property is nothing but the collection of key value. Okay, this is my property, this is my key. Okay, this is my key, and this is my value. Okay, and this entire thing is something known as my property. Okay, so this entire thing is what my property. Fine. Okay, it's clear. Okay, so every time I say property, that does mean that this entire key value pair. Okay, this only, this key value pair only. So this is my property, this class is my key, 10 is my value. Can I say that? Yes or no? है ना? Okay, and you can access your property, or you can access your particular object key by two ways. Okay, there are two ways to access that. Okay, the first way, that is, if I want to access this class, then the first way is to access that is student dot class. Okay, this is my first way. Second way is student, and here you need to mention your property, sorry, key name. Okay, so these are the two ways we have used this plenty of time, plenty times, this, right? Yes or no? Right. Okay, fine. So cool. See, till this point, particularly, if we are clear, then yeah, suppose if you have some other nested object, let's say for an example, I have another thing here. Let me delete that. Not, this is not needed. Okay, this is very basic. So now, if I have another object, uh, let's say my address. Okay, in that I have another thing. Let's say my street as uh, Bengaluru, or as my state, as my state is my Bangalore, city is my Bengaluru, state is anything. Okay, so if I want to access my city here, what I need to do in this particular student object? What I need to do? This this is my nested object now. This is my one object. Inside that, this is my second object. Okay, I want to access the property of this. What should I do? Student dot address dot city. Okay, okay, you can also destructure that. Fine. Everyone, please answer. Please respond, everyone, how to access the city property here. I want answer from everyone. I'm just seeing that from just two people, two or three people. Okay. So everyone says student dot address dot city, right? Okay. So it's right. Okay, it's perfect. Perfectly right. Okay. So the nested object can be expressed, can be accessed by that. Fine. Now suppose if I have let's say, like, okay, so till this method, till this particular point, everyone is clear, right? So what I'll do now, that This is end of this particular object versus JSON thing. Okay, but anything that you want me to cover right now, any topic that you want me to touch, because see, many points that we already clear up to this point. Any particular point that you want me to touch right now, or you want to try that? Okay, do one thing. Just play around with this particular JSON conversion first of all. Deepak, we have already discussed about the difference between that. Na, I wrote that. See here. Okay, I already mentioned the differences between that. Okay, fine. So now, uh, guys, please try to declare a normal object. Try to convert it into the JavaScript object. Convert back into the JSON object. Okay. So what I just said, I'm just repeating myself again. You need to create a normal object. You need to convert it into the JSON object. That same object you need to convert again into the JavaScript object. Can you do that? Can you do that right now? Okay. So please try that. I'm giving you sufficient time to implement that. Okay. Please try that. Vaibhav, yes, I said JavaScript object and normal object both are same. Okay. Okay. So that's why I repeated my question again, that you need to create a JavaScript object or normal object, and you need to convert it into the JSON object, and again you need to convert back into the JavaScript object. Okay. So JavaScript object and normal object both are same. They are not different. Okay. Okay, so Deepak, okay. So sorry, Deepak, about that. I thought that you are asking about the difference between normal object and JSON object. Okay, that is why I shown you that particular slide. Fine, but JavaScript object and normal object both are same. They are not different. JSON object and JavaScript object, they are different. Okay, so I have mentioned that the differences between that. Okay. No, it is not necessary to write it in the single line. Okay, Vishal, it's not necessary to write it in the single line. Okay, you can write it as you want. So anyone else like who is remaining, or they want some more time, or they are still trying, work in progress. What is the status? Everyone, guys, please, everyone, participate. What is the status? Done. Okay, fine. So now, I'll be asking you one more question to you. Right now, my what is visible? My OneNote. Okay. So now I'm asking you one question. I'm asking you one question regards to what we have covered yesterday with respect to the one question with respect to the hosting. Okay. So now let's say if I have a question like this, can you see the question? Can you see the question? See, this is my parent function. Inside that I have my variable that is called as hoisted. That I am variable, okay, and I have my function hoisted now. It is calling that return I am a function, okay, and then I'm returning my hoisted function and I'm consoling my parent function. So what will be the output of this? Do not try to run this. I'm giving you time to debug that. Okay, I'm giving you time to debug that. Do not try to host run it. Okay. You wanna try it, or if not, then I'll explain that. Don't worry. Just tell me you want to try it or you want me to explain. I'll be comfortable in both. Okay. How about everyone else? Oh, my voice is not visible. My voice is not audible. Sorry. Voice is audible now. Now, okay, fine. So I have just put down the debugger here. Okay. So see the output printed here is what hoisted is not a function, right? How it is getting printed, I'm explaining that. Okay. So right now the JavaScript runs through your program, scans through your program. It has observed that there is just one function. Okay. So it has it has it did the parent thing here. Okay, apart from that there is no thing, it will be locked here. So if you see here, see this parent is a function, right? Okay, till now it's clear. Fine. Now once we will go inside this function, okay, this is my inside my function, then my all kind of this is my hoisted, right? This is my hoisted. So when you see this hoisted is again my function right now, right? This hoisted, not this hoisted, this hoisted, correct? Okay, so this has locked a function, it has treated a function like the same. Okay, now I am assigning a variable to this hoisted, right? So this hoisted voice is replaced by a variable, not a function now, right? है ना? Correct. So if you call this particular function now, this is not a function now, है ना? This is replaced by a variable, right now, है ना? So if you call this particular function now, so let's say if you have variable where a equals to 10, and if you call the a with the function, है ना? So it will ultimately call you the error only that hoisted is not a function, because now it has been replaced with the variable. How many of people are getting that? Okay, so Mac is not getting. Let me debug again. So right now, if you go inside, oh, so sorry, just a second. Okay, so now, right now, if you go inside that, right now, if you go inside that, can you guys see my screen? Anna? So now, see right now, if I'm doing F10, then I'm doing F11 to go inside this function. This is my hoisted. So right now my hoisted is what function? Because once you will enter inside this function, it has scanned through the program. It has observed that first of all my hoisted is my variable, but then my it observed that hoisted is it's not my variable, it's my function, right? So it has replaced this hoisted to the function. Okay, it is clear up to this point why it is function right now, right? Okay, Mac, are you clear in this particular point up to this point? Okay, now we'll be going further. So now it has assigned this string to this, okay, that I am a variable. Okay, all right. Okay, right. Now again, it is replaced by what? It is replaced by what? It is replaced by a variable value. It is not a function anymore. Yes or no? Before it was a function, right? But variable is declared first, then the function. But yes, but second, like what? Who is last? Who scans the last? Function, right? So that is why hosted was before a function, not a variable. If you remove this particular function here, it would be anyway the variable only. I hope everyone gets this, that it has been updated with the variable, not the function. Okay, Mac, you can raise your hand, you can come on the mic. Mac, please raise your hand. Okay, fine. Yes,
So technically, first like it goes sequence by sequence, like the execution. So
correct.
firstly, we see a variable. So hoisted will be first a variable, and then it will be taken as a function. So when
Correct.
we are calling return hoisted, then the function should be taken, right? Like the last
No,
one.
let me explain that. Okay, so you are aware about the concept that first of all, let's say if I'm standing at this point above this, then it will scans through the entire program, right? Okay, so right now it has scanned through the entire program of JavaScript, and it has observed that there is only one function that is here. Okay, so right now if you see, then outside how many function, how many variables are there in your particular program? See, if you have this code, okay, so right now how many variables and how many functions are there in the program in the first call? Okay, so in the first go you just have this one function, right? Once you will go inside that function, then this will be come into the picture. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So right now, if you see here, in the parent thing, let me show you that as well. I have already shown here. So see, this parent is what my function, right? Right now,
Yes.
there is
Yes.
no thing such as hoisted right now. Once,
Yes.
unless you will go inside that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we'll be go inside that. If I press F10 right now, F11 to go inside that. Now, if you see, you have this hoisted, right? So if you see right now, it has again scans through the program of this only. Okay. So this is the definition of my function of parent. Okay. So it has scans through that. It has observed that there is a variable called as hoisted. So first of all, it has defined undefined, okay, the normal default value of that. Then after it has observed that hoisted is okay, hoisted is also a function, okay. So it has overwritten that undefined to the hoisted function, right?
So it basically scans first and it will take first hoisted as function and then it will go to the
No,
variable part where
no,
it will
no,
take
no, no,
hoisted.
no, wrong, wrong. Let me explain once again, okay? Just a second. I'm sharing my screen once again because it was another thing. Just a second. Wait a minute. Okay, fine. So see, what I'm doing now is, just let me know once you can able to see my screen of console. You can see the screen of console
Yes,
right
sir.
now. Okay,
Yes,
it
sir.
is my incognito mode. Okay, so now what I'm doing, instead of the here putting debugger here, I'm putting debugger here and I'm putting debugger here. Okay, so now you will have more idea about it. See, right now we are at the topmost thing of the program. Okay, so right now how many variables and how many functions are there? There is only one function called as parent. Okay, in the outside, fine. So you will just have parent thing here. Okay, as I've already shown you it as a function, right? Now after that you will go inside your function. Okay, so right now you have not encountered anything, you have just scanned through your program inside this particular function. Okay, okay. So
Okay.
before, like right now what it did was that, first of all, it has observed that this hosted is my variable. Okay, so it has defined this as undefined. Okay, this is my undefined. Okay, secondly, after this particular line, it has scanned through also this function. So it has observed that this hoisted and this hoisted, the both are the same. Okay, and before it was undefined because it was my variable. Right now it is my function. So it has overwritten that particular undefined value of this, and it has written that it is my function now.
So
Am I
it
okay with this
first
point, Mike?
scans the function. It first scans the function.
No, it will not first scan function, or it will not first scan the variable. It will scans first what is inside here, what is written here in the
Okay.
first
Okay.
scope.
Okay.
Okay, there is no
Okay.
rule of like it will scan function or it will scan variable. Okay,
Okay.
right now whatever is there, what is here, it is my variable.
Hoisted.
So in the
Yeah.
first go,
Variable.
it will be undefined. Okay, so try
Yeah.
to remove this particular function and observe what is the value of this hoisted. You will observe that it will be undefined. You will put debugger here, then you will observe that it will be undefined here. In
Yeah.
the next go, you will have observed that this is my function. That is why it will replace by with the function. So right now, if you put debugger right now, if you go further, then see, this will be assigned. Okay, this will be assigned to here. So this is again my variable, right? Right.
So I didn't get the last part.
See, what I did was that, uh, at this particular point of time we stood here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so at that particular time it was a function, right? This hoisted
Yeah.
was a function. Now
Yeah.
what it did was it executed this line. This assignment operator has done here. Okay, so it has assigned this im variable to hoisted variable. Okay, hoisted is not a function anymore. Okay,
Oh.
okay, so
Okay.
it has again assigned to the hoisted. This is a variable now. Okay, and how you will execute this? For this you have to call your function, right? To
Yeah.
call a function you need to call this function, right, like this. But
Yeah.
now this is not a function anymore because this both name are same. That is why it has replaced your function to a variable. So now if you try to run this,
Okay.
it will give you error that hoisted is not a function. You got this now?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 Got it.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay, so
Thank
this kind of questions would definitely ask. Okay, so please try to practice this kind of things as well. So answer written. Okay, so am I clear now? Deepak, Vaibhav, Venkat, Priyanshu, everyone is clear. Okay, so now you want me to ask another question like this, but if when the function is last, how it will return where? Function is in the last, but see, we have assigned it, na, Priyanshu? That's what I told. Assignment operation has been done. Okay, so you can also think like that. Okay, so let me also go well with this. Okay, so suppose if I have this, okay, what will be happen now? What will happen now? And are we are returning hoisted, not hoisted? Okay, so if you return this, what will be the output now? What will be the output now? Are you sure about it? Okay, see, let's see. So let me just first tell you the output. Okay, see, I am a variable. Okay, why? Because you have not called that. Okay, so whatever value inside this particular hoisted, it will be written. I hope everyone is clear about with this. Everyone is clear. So now just tell me one simple thing. If I'm just writing a equals to 10, okay, and let's suppose I have this is particularly special kind of hosting I'm explaining to you right now. Okay, so let's say just a second, just a second. Let me tell you some different example. Okay, you can also get to understand by that very much detail. Let's say if I have a equals to 10. Okay, let's say I have console.log a here, and then I am having where a. What will be output of this? Okay, everyone says 10, right? Can I say everyone is wrong? See here, what is my output? 10. But can you explain how? Can you explain how? See, internally what it does, if you do this now, internally what it does, it will do like, let's say if I'm having this, and if I'm having this now, then internally what it executes like this, where a equals to 10 and console.log a. So whatever your declaration part, although your declaration part is here, okay, but whenever it scans now, this part would be executed first. Okay, so no matter if you have where a equals to 10 or where a equals to 10 here and where a here, that does not matter. Okay, internally it will execute like this. Okay, it will be hoisted, right? Okay, now, no, there is no execution precedence, Mac. Okay, now if I am having the same thing but with the let, what will be my output now? What will be my output now? 20? Oh, 10. Everyone says 10. Do not try to run this, please. Okay, let's see. So see, cannot access a before initialization. Okay, so it will show you error because let is not hoisted. Okay, by default only where is hoisted in JavaScript. So if you do with this with the const also, it will do the same error. So you remember now that const, if you are defining const, then it should be initialized, right? It cannot be reinitialized. Okay, fine. So by default, only where is hoisted in JavaScript. Fine. Let and where cannot be hoisted. Cool. Now, suppose if I want to, like, you want me to ask this kind of question now, I can ask like a lot of questions to you like this. If you want, otherwise we can move ahead. You want me to ask this kind of question now? I'm asking that. Okay, fine. So let me ask you one more question related to that. So let's say, uh, let me think. Let me think. There was some good question that I had in my mind. Okay, fine. Yeah, this one. So let's say I have one function. Let me write it. Okay, let me write the same thing. Uh, Fine. So can we get break after this? Yeah, you can. Or else, like, if you want right now, I can also give it to you. Okay, do one thing. We will be come back after 15 minutes after break. Okay, will it be fine to all of you? Okay, so we'll be back at 11:50. Okay, fine. Please go on the break and please come back quickly. So my console is visible for all of you. Welcome back. Can you see the question? Can you see the question here? Okay. So this is a question that you want to try right now. Okay. And tell me the output of it. Can I expect everyone will answer it correctly? Okay. So please try it right now. Guys, we are not in hurry. Why you are in hurry? Please take your time, think about it, and then after revert back to me. Okay? We are not in hurry. Please think quietly and carefully. Okay? Nitesh, one function can return only one thing. Okay, so 3 and 8 both cannot be there. All right, think about it. So, anyone who is still thinking, or I want to explain. ठीक है, चलो. Let's see. Okay, so many of you guys have opted for 3. Many of you guys have opted for 8. Let us take a poll. Click on true if you are in favor of 3. Click on false if you are in favor of 8. Okay. 3 for true, 8 for false. All right. So it's like 68-32. Fine. Good. No problem. So let us see the correct answer here. Yeah, it's 8. Because can anyone explain the reason why it is 8? Can anyone explain the reason why it is 8? Yes, yes. So see guys, as we have already discussed, see right now, I am putting my debugger at very first line, okay? So sorry, refresh it. So, oh my god, what is happening? I don't know. In this one, debugger, okay? Cool. So you can all see my screen of debugging. Can you see the screen of debugging? Okay, so let's see. So as I have told you everyone that JavaScript first scans through the program. Have I told you na? Okay, so it will first scan through the program. This is my foo. I will call. I'll go inside my foo once it is called. Then after you can go inside a function, right? Okay. So I have pressed 11. Okay, you have you gone into this foo and You have observed that the first one is your bar, the second one is this bar. Okay, so let's see. So whenever this JavaScript first scan through this, it will first log that this bar function is at of line number 3. Then secondly, after that also it will scan through and execute that. It will know that this again bar function will have, and we have this at line number 7. So if you see here, the updated number of the line is 7 now. Okay, so whatever that are inside the last, it will get executed. Now you have called return bar, so it will not go inside this, it will go inside this. Okay, let me show you. See, it will go inside this because you have the line number 7 in your log. Okay, as we have seen previously, that is why you are returning 8. Am I right? Is it clear? Everyone, it is clear? Everybody, it is clear now? Mahak, it is clear for you? Okay, fine. Great. So I'll be sharing you one another question related to that. Let's say if I am having okay, can you explain? Fine. So Aradhya, what I just spoke is you have this. Okay. So how many number of variables and how many functions are there here right now? Can you come online? Can you come on? Can you come raise your like? Can you raise your hand and speak up, Aradhya? Please come online. Yeah, please raise your hand. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, Aradhya. See here. What is happening here is you have this particular debug at line number 1, right? So you just have this one function in outer side. Yes. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes or no? है ना? So if you see here, if you find this number function foo, then see this is here in the line number 2. Okay, apart from that, nothing is here in the outside of your scope. Okay, so nothing will be locked. All right, so this debugger, after that it will come here, it will call this particular function foo. Okay, I'm pressing F11 to go inside this foo. All right, so I have gone inside this particular foo. It If you enter, if you debug here na, if you press debugger here, like after this particular first line, if you put debugger here in this particular line number 3, you will observe that it will first scan through this particular inside scope. First of all, in the bar, it has executed, like it will be logged as line number 3. Okay, first of all it will be logged as line number 3, but after that it will also observe that my another function with the same name is happen, it's there on line number 7, so it will just update the line number from 3 to 7. Okay, so right now your bar function is not this, it is this. Right, so whenever you do return bar from here, it will not go inside this, it will go inside this. That is why it will returning 8 here. Come back to here. I hope it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. Are you clear now? Sure. If you have any doubt, you can
Yes,
please ask.
sir. Sir, I'm still confused about it.
So you can ask.
How it's going down? How it's going down?
Which point? Just a second.
I mean to the bar function.
Just a second, I'm explaining that. So let's put debugger here. Let's put debugger here. It's okay, you can ask, you can you don't have, I'm not supposing to say yes in everything I say. Okay, it's okay, you can also ask as many as doubt that you want. All right, don't worry. And I'm putting debugger from here and debugger here also. Fine, so let's debug this now. It is making sense, Aradhya?
Yes, sir.
Now see, right now I'm at the very first line of my program, right? So now you can observe that there is only one function called as foo. Let me show you again. There's only one function called as foo. It is on line number 2. Okay, so wherever your
Yes, sir.
function is, it will lock the line number of that. Okay, we already seen that. It is, if it is a
Yes.
normal function like this function and your function name, then it will lock that particular line number. You know, I hope that is
Yeah.
okay to you, right? The function location is
Yes, sir.
clear to you, you know? Okay. So
Yes.
now after this, since this is not a function call, okay, this is not a function call, this is function declaration and definition, right? So it will not go, the debugger point will not go inside this. First of all, whenever this will call na, then after it will go inside that. Okay, right? Yes or no? Whenever your function
Yes.
will call, then after it will go inside that. Apart from that, it will not, right? So after the back, that there is a function call here, है ना? This
Sir,
foo,
your voice got
right?
cut. Sir, your
So
voice
if
got
since
cut.
this is a function call, it will, okay. So I said that after this, it has come here, right? Console.log foo. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yeah. So in this particular thing, you can observe that this is a function call, right? So since it is a function call, it will go inside that. Am I clear up to this point?
And yes, sir.
Any point of single doubt? 1%, then you can
No,
still ask. I'll still explain in better way.
no, no doubt.
No, right? Okay. So since it has it was turned back into this particular function, it has gone into the function foo, right? Because it's a function foo's call, right? Now it will
Mm.
again scan that. Okay, it will scan this entire thing. And first of all, what was in our scope? Our scope was entire program, right? So we scanned that and we
Yes, sir.
saw that what was our function, right? What are our function? What are our variables, right? So in outer scope, this was our function, right? This was our only function. So that is why I just only locked this foo function, right? But right now you are in the scope of this and inside foo. Okay, so it will scan through this program. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So it will if you scan, if you are interpreter, okay, so what you will do, you will first scans through what and all our function and what and all our variables are there, right? Yes or no? So
Yes.
your functions are
Yes.
two right now. First is this bar, second is this again the bar. Okay, so right now
Mm.
this bar function lies in the line number 4. Okay, so in this particular function location, before it was 4. Okay, but after that your another function you will encounter, that is also function bar, it which will be in the number line number 9. So it will just update that
Mm.
location number line number 4 to line number 9, है ना? ठीक है?
Okay.
If this is another name, like if this is a bar 1 and this is a bar, then the bar 1 would be lie on line number 4, bar would be 9. But here since both function name are same, it will just update the location of that, right?
Mm.
Am I clear?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mm.
Now if you just go down, since this is not a function call, right? As I already told you previously, it will not go inside that. Once you will call that particular function, then after it will go inside that, correct?
Yes.
Right? So right now you are calling your bar function. So your doubt is now which function should be called, this or this, right?
Yes, sir. That's it out.
So you can just see the function location. What is the function location's line number?
9.
9. So it will just go to line number 9. Okay, it will go to line number 9's function, it will execute that, and it will return 8 from here. The 8 will be returned here, and whenever this function, this foo function has called, it will be returned back to here, and it will print this 8. Am I right?
Sir, will it ignore the above function, above our bar
This one,
function?
na? Yeah, this will ignore
Yes,
because
sir.
your function location has been updated, right?
Mm.
है ना? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I'll show you for better understanding of yours, this is my bar 1. Okay, this is my debugger. Again, I'm putting debugger here and here. Okay, also here and here. Okay, so now since this bar 1 and bar, this both are different, right? So let me just console it. Now if you see now, oh so sorry, let me refresh it. Now if you see that, see now, first of all it will just enter into the foo. You are clear up to this point, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Mm.
So now again what I told you, that first of all it will just scans through its scope, right? So what is inside the scope? The bar 1 and bar, correct? this bar, correct?
Mm,
This bar and this bar
yeah,
one.
two
Yeah,
functions. Yes.
है ना? So if you want to see here, just go to bar one. Bar one is not there. How come? Just a second. Okay, so we have not called it now. That's why. Okay, just a second. I'm also doing one more change from here. Return bar. Uh, return this particular thing. I'm making an array bar one, bar and bar one. Okay, I'm returning that. All right. Okay. Now inside that, if you go, you will observe that we are calling that. See, this is my bar, and bar one is not there. How come? In the stack, it should be there. Okay, wait a minute. We need to check that. Oh, just a second. Just a second. Where it was? This one. Okay, you can see the console right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now what I'll do, instead of this bar, let me make it bar one for now. I do that. This bar one would be there with this updated location of 4. Okay, this is my fourth location since my bar one is only single thing, right? Previously it was bar for line number 9. You observed that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So if you want to do that now, so I'll also show you how to make it parallelly. Okay, how to make the parallel call. Okay, I'll also show you. Instead of this return, just do bar, and instead of this bar, I'll make this as bar one. Make this as bar one and make it bar. Okay, I'm calling it here bar one, and I'm calling it here as bar. Okay, and instead of this return, I'm just doing console. Since my function can only return one thing at a time, that's why it was happening there. Okay, I'm just doing console.log 3 here, console.log 8 here. I'm just calling foo here. Okay, okay, the same thing I'm doing,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Now see, now I'm inside that. Okay, so now you can see bar and bar on both, right? This bar, if
Yes,
you
sir.
see, line number 4. Okay, and this bar one's location is what? Line number 8. Correct?
Line number 8.
Okay, so if you call this particular bar na, it will go to which location, or whichever location it is locked inside this function location, line number 4. It will land to line number 4 na? Line number 4's part, so line number 5 ultimately, है ना? And it will do
Yes,
console
sir.
here. Again, it is bar one's call, so it will go to bar one's function location, that is, I think so, line number 8. So it will go to line number 9, right? It will log console.log line number 8. Am I clear this? Am I clear up to this point,
Ye-
Aradhya?
yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, na? Okay. Any single point of doubt you have right now?
No, sir.
Okay, you
So
can still ask.
that basically means last function will be called, right?
No,
In
that does
that.
not mean that. That does not mean that. Whatever is there in your function location, it will be called. Simple.
Yes.
Right? So
Okay.
here my function location was updated, hai na? Because see, after this particular scan, it has, although it has scanned this and it has logged line number 3, but it has updated by this line number 7,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay, so whatever inside your, just a second, I'm making it again. So whatever there inside your line number in your function location, it will be get executed, not first, not last, anything. Okay, this should be locked. So you have to figure out what should be in the function location by debugging it or by executing it in your mind. Okay, so you can execute that both the function name are same. That is why whatever my the last function would be there, it will be have the inside this function location. Its line number would be locked inside this function location, and it will be called whenever this will be called. Right? Fine.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. ठीक है. So is it okay now for everyone? For everyone, it is still okay. Everyone else, anyone else still have any doubt inside this? Clear? Deepak, Joseph, Priyanshu, Hariharan. Now your doubt is clear. I think so. This is your previous doubts. I think so. Everyone, please say yes or no. Okay, fine. So now, I'm asking one another question to you. Okay, so let's end this out. Okay, let's end. We have asked a lot of questions. Yes or no? I'll be asking you in some other session. Fine. Fill this out. Let me do this out. Okay, fine. So Priyanshu, what is your question? Can we explicitly call above function? Is there any way? What do you mean by that, Priyanshu? Which above function? This one, foo function. If we have two function of same name, okay, we have two function of same name. So we are asking that is there any way to call this particular function, right? Okay. I'll tell you that. You cannot, first of all, because the line number would be get updated. Okay, fine. Now, can you tell me output of this? Can you tell me output of this? Yes, Deepak, it's right. After return keyword, nothing should be returned. But here, like in previous case, your function declaration was there, right? So it will not. It is not like execution. It is just declaration, है ना? It is called here Parag. You can see here. In previous case, you are asking Joseph. Okay, so in this previous case, I explained you na that both the function name was same, right? So first of all, it has logged the line number 3, and then after again the same function was there, right? So that's why it has pointed to another location. Okay, that was the reason. Okay. Now, what is the output of this? People, please tell me. Everyone says 8. Keshav says 3. There are majority of people who are saying 8 and 3. I think so both are equal. Let me take a poll of that. Okay. Those who are in favor of 3, click on true. For 8, click on false. So there are 50-50 almost. So let's see. So if I just run this out, if the answer is 3, not 8. Okay. Can anyone tell me the reason? Previously it was 8 and now it is 3. Why? In the previous case, your function was the original function. Let's say in your previous case, what was the case was, just a second, I'm also telling you the previous case. Okay, so In the previous case, if you observe, then this function was the actual function, right? है ना? That is why it has logged when it was scanned, है ना? But this bar, this function would only be assigned to this whenever this execution of assignment operation would get done. Yes, correct. So initially my bar will be undefined for both of the case, right? And after I will execute this line, it will be bar will be become a function. It will be point to line number 3. It will be and whenever it will be get called, it will return 3. Okay, so after this line it is return statement. Okay, return bar. So if you execute that, it will return 3. Okay, so it will never get executed. Okay, so after this return it will never get executed. Correct? Everyone agrees with me? Everybody? Aradhya? Parag, it has not updated because I think so you are aware about the difference between the normal function and this function. So let's say for an example, I have my function bar. Here I am returning 4. Now tell me the output, what it will get print. I'm not in hurry, everyone. Okay, think about it and let me know. Yes, yes, Parag. So how many people are saying 3 and how many say 8 and how many say 4? Everyone says 3. Okay, bar is not a function. Okay, but I have returned here. Huh? I have returned here. Let's execute it. It will still return 3. Same scenario. See, after it will call foo, it will first execute this entire thing. After the first scan, this bar, this will be get noticed that this is my function. Okay, this bar will be my function. And what is my function location? What is my function location? 3, right? Because it is line number 3, है ना? For this. Then after it will scan further. The same name bar is there here. So what it will get stored here? Bar will be what? Undefined. Yes or no? Right, people? Then after it will again scan through and it will observe that it's again same variable. So bar will be again my undefined, right? And then after it will start executing. Okay. Okay. So now what is your final bar? What is your bar? Bar is right now, what is my bar? Bar is my undefined, right? And whenever I am executing this, okay, after this is my function declaration and definition, so it will not get executed. Right now my bar is undefined. After this execution, the bar will be updated to this function. Okay, so bar will be my, and from undefined it will be updated to this function, and my function location would be what? Function location would be my 6. Okay, and if you do return bar now, then after it will go to this particular location, function 6, line number 6 here, and it will return 3 from this. That is why it is printing you the line, the number 3. I hope this is okay. There's execution I wanted from to, like I wanted to execute from your end on paper. Okay, now let's suppose everyone is clear up to this point. Everybody is clear. Mehak, Aradhya, Aradhya, are you clear? Right? Fine, great. So now I'm just doing return from there, from here. What it will do? Deepak, we have returned from that, na? Previously, see what was the case. From here, we have returned. So after return, it anything that is after that, it would get executed anyway. Okay, that is why it has not executed. Now my answer, my question is what it will be inside this case. Joseph, Deepak, are you clear? Hannah? So in this particular case, how many people are saying that my output is 4, 3, or 8? See, after you run this, first of all, foo will be called. So it will scan through this. Okay. So it will scan first that your bar function is there. So it will locate your function location. It will be a function, and function location is what? 3, right? After that, again, it will be come here that, see, my bar is variable, right? So it will just do the declaration part. So bar will be my undefined now. Again, it will observe that, see, bar is my, again, my variable now. So bar will be my variable now. So that does mean that bar will be my undefined now, right? Okay. After that it will be come back to here, since it is my function execution. No, it is not my function execution, it is just my function declaration and definition. It will not go inside that, it will start from here. Okay. So now it will observe that my bar is a function. Okay. So this bar will be now updated to a function with a function location what? 6. Okay. Now again I'm doing my interpreter and my debugger point will be here. Again I will observe that my bar function is there. Now my function location is what? It will be updated. This 6 location will be updated to 10. Okay. And you are now calling this bar. So what is the latest bars value? It is a function and location is 10. So it will go inside that and it will return 8. Okay, right? Let's try to do that. Okay, it is written 8. Correct. So this is how you have to execute your program. Correct. Yes or no? है ना? Now let's suppose your return bar is from here to here. What will be the output now? I'm not in hurry anyway. Okay. So Omkar, do you want, like, you will mind if you come on the mic? I'll explain why it is not undefined. Keshav, for you as well. Fine. So see, can you please explain me? Can you please explain me why it should be undefined?
Sir, like you said, first it will scan,
Okay.
uh,
Wait a minute. Okay.
okay,
First, it will scan this.
and then
So what
first
it
it
will?
will, okay, then first it will point to line number 4 for bar.
Okay. So my bar will be what? My function, है ना?
Yes,
And my location would be what?
line number 4.
Okay, fine. Now after that,
Then line number 7 and undefined.
okay, perfect, great, good.
Then
Then
line number 11 and undefined.
good. Then
And then it will start executing.
start executing. Correct. So it will do what?
Undefined, written undefined.
It will no. It will execute now this return bar.
Yes,
So what is your latest return?
undefined.
Undefined, right? So what it will be do if you run this? It is answering 4. Why?
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 It will start, it will rescan it.
No.
Then why?
Can anyone explain? Can anyone else explain this? Why? Anyone else can explain this? Why? Function expressions are not hoisted. Okay. Bar is a function. Okay. Line number 4. Okay. See. Omkar, this is my debugger, right? If you do that, see now. Better we don't do this here. We just do that in our Chrome. Okay, just a second. This for Chrome. Yeah, this is our Chrome. Let me do this everything else. Yeah. So can you see it? Can you see my Chrome? Can you see the Chrome? I'll explain you. Can you see the Chrome? Okay. Now, see now. If you press enter, right now, right now it has scanned through everything. Okay. It has scanned through everything. Okay. Oh, just a second. Just a second. Yeah, it's correct. Okay, fine. I thought there's some mistake in that. So if you observe that this is my bar, right? So my bar is pointing to line number 5 because can anyone tell me why? Anyone of you tell me why it should be that like this? So it is the same case. It is the same case what we have executed before, but with respect to this. So why it should be like this? Because bar is okay. Why isn't it going to line number 8? Yeah, I'm asking about that only. Why it should be line number 5? Why it should not be anything else? We have covered that, yes or no? Yes, we are returning bar at first, correct, but I'm talking about the scanning part. We have covered this or not, everyone? I'm just giving you some time to think also. Okay, we have covered this. I'm telling you we have covered this. Okay, have we talked about the function precedence, or else like the both two things will be hoisted, right? Function and variable. So in the both of them, function would be hoisted first. Yes, functions are first class citizens, but we have talked about this now. Then that the like I think so in doubt session or not, I'm not recalling that, but we have talked about it that in the function and in the variable, the function will be hoisted first, right? So it will be given you the most priority. Okay, so in this particular case, if you have something like this, uh something like this, then what should be output? See, in this particular case, if you see bar, then it is undefined. If you return bar, then it bar is not a function. Why you are confusing this? It is pretty much pretty obvious now. We have covered this yesterday also. Yes or no? है ना? But in case of that, our main question was this: that if you have this, then first of all, this bar will be undefined, this will be undefined, and the most precedence would be given to what? This function. That is why it has given to. If you observe this here, the my function location would be 5. If you do that, return. If you it will be go to the function location, which is it will be 5, and it will be return 4. Am I clear? So, Mehak, in the previous case, I think so you have some doubt, right? So I'll explain that once again. In this particular case, if you observe na, then bar would be what? Undefined, right? Right now your bar would be what? Undefined. So if you execute bar, then bar is your not a variable. It bar is not a function, right? And you are calling it as a function. That is why it is giving you error of what? Bar is not a function. It is clear, Mehak. Now it's clear. Now, in this particular case, it it was a function. Okay, so first of all, it has scanned through everything. It has observed that it will be undefined for this particular variable. So between this function and variable, your functions would be given most precedence. Okay, I'll also show you when, like how, where it has documented. Okay, I'll also show you that. So you can see here that the function would be given you utmost priority. Okay, that is why it will return 4 here. I hope, am I clear now? Okay, so now I'll show you. Yes, it is due to precedence, or you can say like ordering. Okay, now I'll show you where it will be written that. uh just a second, I'll open that. mm, yeah, okay, so this one, hosting JS precedence. Okay, now see here. Can you see my Brave browser? Can you see my Brave browser, everyone? Now see here. So I've just searched for hosting JS precedence. So variables are hosted to the top of the scope, then assign. Okay, not this. Yeah, this one. So see, functions are hosted first, then variable declarations as per ECMAScript 5, which specify how hosting happens. We first have step. Okay, this is a like type of this, but see, functions are hosted first. It is clearly written, right? Yes or no? Okay, right? Everyone, everyone, please say yes or no. Okay, okay. Now, I'll again go into the OneNote. Fine. So today we have covered like JS object, JSON object, and lot of thing about the closures. Oh, sorry, hosting, right? So if we return just bar at first line, it will return bar function, right? Okay, good question, Omkar. Let me show you. See, what he's asking is, if we return just bar at first line, okay? So if we just return this bar, what it will do? Okay, he's asking that. So everyone, what it should be written? What it should return now? Think about it. What it should return? It's pretty simple, straightforward answer, not a twisted one. It will return function. Okay, let's see. See, right now, what is a bar? Bar is a function, right? Since this is a developer tools of Mozilla, I cannot show you the stack of that, because I haven't executed stack from here, but it is a function, right? If you just return that, and if you just see here in the console, you can see that it is undefined. So not undefined, it is a function. Okay, because it will return an entire function of that. Okay, okay, fine. So if you call that function, then it will go inside that. If you just return this, and then it will just return entire code of function, right? Okay, clear? Okay, now just tell me, like just now I had one question pop up in my mind, that if you do like this, then what should happen? Just a second. Okay, bar is equals to 6. Bar is equals to 6. This function I'll remove. This will be like this. And after that, if I do return bar, what it should do? Return this bar. Okay, function call. What it should do? What it should do? Please see carefully. I have called the function. Guys, please think about it. Then after you have to answer, na. Think about it. Omkar and Deepak, you will have undefined as your answer, wherein you are accessing a variable, a proper variable which does not have any value. Apart from that, in any case, you will not have undefined. Either you will have error or you will go inside a function. Okay, just for your reference. Fine. So let's see now. So if you do this now, then as per our logic, it will scan through the program. Okay, the bar right now would be undefined because it is a variable, right? Then after it will assign to 6. Okay, bar will be 6 now, but you are calling that. Okay, you cannot call it. Okay, so bar is not a function. Clear? It's pretty much clear. Simple. Okay, now the same thing I'll do here. What it should do, like this. What will be my output of this? See the question and then answer it. Okay, what it should do? Vishal, it will return 3, or Navneet, it will return 3, 6 or any value. Okay, let you just first answer, okay? Then after I'll explain. First, let me have more answers. Okay, see. So I have moved my return statement from here to here. So that does mean that after this bar is equals to 6, so right now my bar would be 6. After that, it will be assigned with this particular function. Okay, and if you call this particular function, then it will return 3. If you just do bar, then it will return this entire code. Yes or no? Right, so if you see it in the console, it will return the entire function, right? So there would not be any case of confusion here. Okay, there should not be any case of confusion here why it should be like that. So the similar case, if I do like this, now what it should do, I want everyone's answer should be same, hai na? Sorry, not this one. 8, right? Okay, great. So let's see what it should do. 8, right? Okay, clear? Everyone is clear, right? So there should not be any case of doubt in case of hoisting, okay, from now onwards, because we have discussed a lot of things with respect to hoisting. Okay, I think so. I have discussed the utmost examples in your class with respect to the hoisting. So I don't want anyone to be, to have like a single mistake in interview or in exam or any case. It is pretty cool, na? It is like enjoy. Like I really enjoy doing this kind of activities. Correct? Okay. I hope everyone and everyone else also enjoys that. Fine. So now tomorrow I'll gather a lot of questions with respect to other thing in JavaScript, which could be asked in your exam, in your interview, or that could be tricky one, just like this. Okay, sir, I wanted to ask if we give re-level select exam now. Omkar, that will depend on your particular knowledge and expertise. I cannot comment on that, but you can just see the curriculum. If you are okay with that, you can give that. Okay, and for more on this, you can ask Anshul for this. Okay, he will be the better person to comment on this because I'm not aware about your expertise and all. Okay, I hope it is fine, right, Omkar? It will making sense. Okay, ठीक है. So from tomorrow like for tomorrow, that since it is a doubt session, you have to ask me the doubt if you have. If not, then I'll ask you more questions like this tomorrow with any topic. Okay, and then we will continue with other topics on Monday, from Monday. I think so. On this Wednesday, you don't have any class, right? From me, from my side. I'm not aware about it. I'm just asking. Do we have class on this Wednesday or not? Okay, so I think so that would be, it would be there. Okay, so I'm not aware about it. I'm just asking that. Okay, okay, fine, fine. So one question from last batch. Can I ask you? Yeah, you can. You can, Omkar. Okay. No, 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 Rupesh. DSA has not started yet. Okay, we have just cleared your fundamentals till now. So till now you are, everyone is at at same platform, whether you are from non-tech or you are from tech. That makes no difference from now. Okay, because we have covered like a lot of fundamentals now, some advanced concept as well. It will be function, like if you are passing function, then it will be passing as value, not as reference. Okay, I asked about explicitly calling the above function if we have two function of the same name. Okay, so Priyanshu, you asked that, suppose if I have function bar like this, okay, and you have this function bar like this, okay. This was your doubt, right, Priyanshu? And if you do this return statement here, sorry, here, okay, so it should call this. You are asking me that, right? Yes, Priyanshu, right? Okay. So in this particular case, you cannot execute this. If you have to execute this, then you have to make a different name, or else you have to move this particular statement to here. There is no way to execute this particular thing here, okay, with the same name, because you have updated your entire location. Okay, you are in schedule till Saturday. Okay, noted. So next we are learning Vaibhav, the recursion. Okay, so the recursion part we will learn. We will solve a lot of problems with respect to recursion from the next week. Okay, there are other ways to take input from user other than prompt. Yeah, there are many. You can just Google it out. Okay, but normally people use the prompt very much. Okay, so if I want to tell you some other thing, then you can also use some HTML thing. Okay, otherwise if you don't want to go with the HTML, then you can use window.prompt. Okay, you can also put the HTML, the normal HTML thing in your browser, but since you are from the backend batch, I have not covered that. Cool, fine. So anything that you want me to ask, any general queries or anything with respect to any topic or any general query, please show bar is not a function output. So in that particular thing, we had this, and you are calling about this. If you run this, the bar is not a function. Okay. What problems global variable can create? So let's suppose if you have suppose global variable as mm, your API key. Let's suppose you have API key in your global variable. Suppose it should not be that. There are many ways to do that. But suppose you have API key in that. The API key, that does mean that you have to call this particular API on this URL. Okay, you have to hit on this URL with this particular payload. So that API key will be in the global variable. Let's suppose hypothetically. Now anyone in your any inside your function, if it's changing, then you cannot access those API keys. Or if, let's suppose if I have like this program, let's say where, or where API key is equals to, suppose HTTP anything like relevel.com. Okay, just like this. So it should be hit on this, but in any function, let's say function test, inside this I'm changing changing this API key to HTTPS unacademy. Okay, so now if you have used this API key in your function where it should be return this relevel.com, there you are you will get this. Okay, after fundamentals, can we making a yeah, we will make. Vishnu, I'm not aware about that. I think I don't know till the point of time DSA I am there. I think so. Okay. After that also, like, I know React and Node, but I don't know about their schedule. Okay, so I cannot comment on that. We are making a yeah we can. What problems? I am little confused in nested functions. So uh, just a second. So suppose let's say here you are making another function test nested like this. Inside this you are console.log a key, and here you are consoling out .log API key. What it should be print? Where it's it? Line number 1. Okay, yeah, it should be equals to. So API key is not defined. So this I'm taking as API key is not defined. Okay, yeah. So see, here it is case capital, right? And here I'm case small. That is why it is showing that error. Okay, so you have to also take care about that. Okay, API key, API key. Okay, see this printing what relevel.com right now. Since why it has printed relevel.com, people? Can anyone tell me? It is related to the scope concept. See, this is in my global scope, right? You know, this API key is my global scope. Now this API key is in my local scope. Okay, okay. So whatever you are assigning into it, it is just related to the local scope only. So if you just print it, if you just call the test here, it will print what? Unacademy and relevel. Okay, so see, this pointing relevel, and after that it is in the API key. Just a second, I have to just print it out. I just have to call the test nested here also, okay, in order to get that. Can you see that? This both has changed. This API key has changed here. This global variable. Yes or no? है ना? So this is the misuse of this particular global variable. Okay, it should not be there inside that. It should not change. It should access that. Like you can access this, but you cannot reassign it. Okay, it is allowed. It is allowed since you this value has not been changed. Okay, so this is my nested function. Nested function does mean that the next test nested is inside the test. So test nested is my nested function. Test is my parent function. This is the example of my global variable change. So both of the people are clear. Who has this doubt? Okay. Any other thing that you want me to cover? Any general queries also? Scope. Okay, so scope is what? This is your global scope. This is your local scope. Okay, this is a local source. So let's suppose you are creating another variable that id equals to 12, and you are trying to access this id here. Id. It has two times because see, first of all, it is inside this, and second one inside this. That is why it has come two times. Okay, two consoles are there. See, id is not defined because id is inside my local scope, and I'm trying to access in my global scope. If I'm doing it here, I can comfortably be doing it. See, idea can access, you know. Okay, so what, at which point of time I need to repeat, Joseph? Which point I need to repeat? Okay, cool. ठीक है. So anything else then you want me to cover? Any general queries or any coding related queries? Anything? I'll be more than happy to answer that. Or else we can also cover that tomorrow. Tomorrow is entirely on the doubt session. Okay. So it's okay for now. For today, we have covered a lot of things. I think so. You have enjoyed about this. What we have, what we did practice related to the hosting. Okay. In the question, I had doubt if we have a global bar function, it will return same thing. Okay. Good question. Good question. So let me do this. Like this. Okay. So he's asking us that sir, if I have this bar function, okay, here I have some bar function like this function bar console dot log global bar. Now I'm doing this right now. What it should do? Good question. My function call is in my first line. Tell me output of this now. What it should print here and what it should print here. On for the first thing, what it should do? It will enter in the foo. Bar will be the 6. It will return what? Let's see. Bar is not a function, right? And from that it has stopped the execution. Okay. Okay. So now what I'll do, I'll just do this. It will not stop now. It is 6. And if I'm calling this, then it will be global bar. I hope now you are clear. Okay. Okay. Everyone is clear. Good. Okay. So you can also play around with this like this. You can also experiment with a lot of questions. Cool. Okay. Okay. Anything else that you want me to cover? Okay. So we will move towards the tomorrow session, which will be the doubt session, and on the Monday we will back into our main streamline. Okay. So yeah, on that note, I'm stopping this particular session now. All right. So have a great weekends. Please try to learn more. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Vishal. Same here. I also enjoyed this class and teaching you with respect to the hosting and all. So we did a lot of things with respect to hosting. We did the JSON and the JavaScript object. We also did a lot of practice in terms of like other concepts that we already covered in the past sessions. From the tomorrow session, we will be focusing entirely towards the recursion. From the Monday session, we'll be focused entirely towards the recursion thing. All right. So my audio is not there for everyone. Please refresh your page, Aradhya. Okay. So on that note, goodbye. I'm stopping it right now. Okay. Okay. Bye bye. Yes, Joseph, you have any doubt? Do you have any doubt? Okay. Yeah. Bye. Bye.